Everybody, welcome back to the Aliens and Angels podcast. I have something I want to say before I introduce our amazing guests today. All content, except for the thumbnail and my background art, is completely authentically human generated and includes absolutely no AI generated components or content. We are the real deal, real people having real conversations. And today, very happy to bring on my two special guests, Jim and Matt from Tennessee Kentucky Bigfoot. Jim and his son Matt started Tennessee Kentucky Bigfoot to document their experiences with Bigfoot. They have had three major experiences. The first was in 2010, where they were alone in the backwoods camping, and they experienced something violently shake their tent that night. Their second experience was in 2018, when they had a herd of Bigfoots run through their camp that night, and they experienced bipedals running up and down the creek. The third event was in 2020 on the Kentucky-Tennessee border, where something woke them while on their backwoods camp by shaking the trees violently, and then they saw a beeping cricket modem thing floating by, and then a giant creature jumped off a cliff and jogged down to their tent. So there's going to be no shortage of high strangeness in the conversation today. All the links are featured below in the description. I want to thank you all in advance for liking, commenting, subscribing, and please do share this content with your friends. I also want to mention that YouTube and Rumble channel memberships are now available, so you can receive my perks and help to support my channel. So without any further, oops, where did my guests go? I was going to say, without any further ado, I will bring on my guests, and they've disappeared from my backstage, but I know they'll be back because they want to talk about this cool stuff as much as I do. Oh, they're back. Here they are. Hi, so nice to finally meet you guys. It's been quite the adventure.
Hey, Karen. Yeah, it's always going live on the internet is so much fun, isn't it? Trying to get make sure everything works.
Yeah, you never really know what's going to happen next. Denise is my moderator today. Thank you, Denise, very much for showing up so regularly and for helping me out, and also posting links so that people can find my guests, and reminding them to subscribe to Tennessee Kentucky Bigfoot as well. No shortage of interesting information there. So guys, I have no idea where you want to start, but one thing I did want to do before we got into the Bigfoots, is I had heard on one of your podcasts some amazing information that you guys were talking about, where you perceived that the human womb is actually a portal for, I don't know. Do you want to tell us more about it? Because I just found that really interesting. I'd never heard anyone else talk about it, because I also think that life is sacred and procreation is sacred. And do you want to just give us a bit about that before we get into the Bigfoots?
Yeah, sure. It's a whole lot of different readings from a lot of different people, and that came together with that understanding. I guess you could say, it's kind of like story time. You know what I'm saying? I guess you could say back when Earth was a maternally run, there's something to do with like four women would get together and represent the four earth, wind, fire, whatever the
Water signs.
right. And when they dance, they raise their uh,
Mitochondriac.
yeah, and I call it the mighty contract. But anyway, they raise the women have the ability to raise their mighty contract, which raises their DNA vibration, which uh, creates love. I mean, they're the only ones that really have that power because they are the ones that have the portal for life
To create life.
right?
Yeah.
And so we come to understand that, and then again, we come to understand more about why well that's the main reason more than likely why women are abused and controlled and kept out of that vibration because of their ability to they would like dance, and you could go like near pyramids and stuff, and those would heal you, and they would basically generating the love around the world. They on the ley lines, they dance on the ley lines, and they could do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second part of that was being the womb. That's the thing is we all know it's a portal. That's where life comes in and out. But somehow or another, women have the ability, if they, like I said, these are all of course, the knowledge that's been lost for good reason.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want, love being the way, it used to be.
Love to be the ruler, right? Yeah. Love to prevail
to be
in
a maternal. Right. We live in a patriotic world, right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of a maternal world. We don't really, we're kind of upside down, and they're keeping it that way. But as far as the womb, that's also a portal where when they raise their energy, women can have that power. And as well as we do, they call that, when they come into this country, in a lot of places they stomped out the natives that practice this stuff. They stomped out. They considered it witchcraft. You're in the woods, you're dancing around a fire, you're raising the
love vibration, like a baby's laughter. You can get healing from a baby's laughter. A lot of people get like rejuvenated and have a heart again because of a baby's laughter. And it's the same thing with women dancing. Indians would practice that around the fire, and it's just a big old love uniting family thing. It's a family enzyme. A guy who's been telling us lately, but it's an enzyme, and it's needed for the body, even in the food. And women could produce that easier because they're more innocent in their heart, and that area is an innocent place, right? Because birth of a child is innocent, and it comes into this world, needs to be protected, and
that's one thing I gotta try to get out straight is that a lot of times me and Matt's just having our coffee, having our day, doing our conversations, nothing, blah blah blah, and then Gaia will just tell us some information, or they come in, Matt's open to his, I guess you can say, guides, because pretty much they all guide us. And so while we're having this conversations today, George is a giant. He might come in. Jesus might come in. God might come in. So at any time, we don't know. But of course, they're always helping us and guiding us. And we try to share all this stuff. Of course, you know how that is. We're very heavily censored, shadow banned, just like you. It's kind of rough when you're outside of the main goal, which is not what we're doing.
I pretty much am just listening to my higher self is what I'm recognizing. My higher self is the one that's talking to God or an archangel or the galactic giant, dragon, giant, such, So it's my higher self that has them conversations.
It's very much like that for me too. I used to try to define it. Right. Sometimes I would get inspiration that was from a human who lived previously, maybe 1,000 years ago. Sometimes I would get 10 messages from like the fae or the fairy realms. Sometimes I would get information from the ET realms. And I used to always sort of classify it and feel like I had to know where it was coming from. As I've gotten older, it's more, I agree, I refer to it as my higher self, who is allowing the communication to happen. And it's amazing how it's a very powerful force. So here on Earth, we're told, oh, there's all these technologies and everything is, taking over and all this other jazz. And then I'm shadow banned too. People are not getting notifications. My subscriber rate has not changed much for a very long time, even though I know I'm getting more participation. But you want to know what's really funny is spirit seems to trump everything, because the people who need to see your show or my show, we just randomly find it. People come to the shows, come to our lives. We never really, I don't overly plan my shows. Sometimes I think I should, to make it more professional. And then the rest of me says, no, I want to keep it the way I have it. And it's really funny, the stuff that comes up and the shows we produce, and they're meant for the people who need to hear it. They're not meant for the algorithm. They're not meant for data collectors. It's a completely different realm, in my opinion. So I didn't mean to discount what you were saying, Matt, but I just wanted to say that mine is very similar. And so now I don't question or try to categorize as much. I just go with the flow, and my life works out perfect. And it freaks me out all the time how perfect it can actually be. So I've been wanting to have you on the show for some time. I've been watching your podcasts and your channel, and it just blows me away, because you've got in-depth understanding around food and food production. You've got in-depth understanding about all things spiritual, and you don't come across as being all hoity-toity, university trained. You're just ordinary people talking about what comes to you, and it totally resonates with me. So I'm really thrilled to have you here today. I don't want to talk too much, because I do that, but I do want to turn it back over to you. Oh, I do want to say one more thing. The interesting thing about not just humans, but all mammals on Earth is, and people don't usually consider this, is that the human species, is female. And people would say, oh, how could you say that? We have men, and men are obviously physiologically different than women. Okay, I just got a quick question. Why is it that all humans have nipples when only the females give birth? Why is it that all the mammals have nipples? And you know what I mean? Okay, you could get kinky and talk about that. But besides that, I mean, it's a good question. The species, and at one time, the whole universe was worshipped or I don't know, not just worship, but also interrelated with, as it being a female energy. And I'm not saying women are better, not at all. Like, I think we need the divine masculine, and we need the divine feminine, and we need it to work in harmony. So don't get me wrong. I'm not pro-female and anti-male in any way. But anyway, I just thought I'd throw those few things out there to support what you said about it being basically rooted in love, and that's the main part of it, right? Anyway, I'll zip it and let you get back to what you want to tell me.
We're like you. We just we're shoot from the hip, and that's the way I like to do it. Yeah, you bring up points I need to talk about. See, we're homemade Amish. That's what I call us. We're homemade Amish, which means we came out in the woods and we started learning. We learned, learning how to grow food and water and make tinctures. And we've got a ton of tinctures, and we got tons of stuff. And we're being trained basically by Guy and our guides. And, but anyway, I want to make sure everybody knows we're homemade Amish. And another thing, you were talking about how you follow spirit, like I was telling you before the show, is I'm subscribed to a lot of people, but I don't have my history running. So I can't tell what channels I haven't watched, what channels I do watch. And normally I sit down to watch TV and I watch whatever's there, but I'm kind of like you. I kind of follow whatever's given to me instead of trying to chase things. I don't chase things. I just let things come. And another part about following spirit, I was driving in our local town the other day, and before there's a whole lot of red lights, and I said, hey, I don't want to, tell me what speed to drive so I don't have to stop at the red lights. And if you follow your blood pressure, if you think about it, your blood pressure, you get up, that's kind of like you're going the wrong way, you're going down, and you can follow your, because I realized it the other night, I was thinking about your blood pressure is your spirit. If you think about it, it tells you when it's time to run, it tells you when it's time to stop, it tells you when it's time to go.
That should be your intuition, practically.
Yeah. And so I'll drive, for example, I drive through the town, and I did this experiment where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go a little fast, and I feel my anxiety saying slow down. And then I slow down and I feel it saying speed up. And I said, well, I'm going to do this test. I'm going to go like really slow to see what will happen. So then I'm like going through, and every time I'd go underneath the red light, it'd turn red. And I was like, it puts you exactly where you want to be, exactly when you're supposed to be, if you pay attention and ask questions. I ask questions. Okay, what do I need to do to navigate these red lights so I don't have to stop at the red lights? And that's neat. You don't think, people don't realize that it could use spirit anytime for anything, and I know that Matt and Tina both, when they shop for food, they're big on that. When they pick up a ham, they check out that specific little pork buddy and say, is he good, bad? He had a happy life. A lot of things right now we're noticing a lot about the food is they don't have the, what you call family enzymes in them. And that's not good. So,
and Gaia does show me that family enzyme can be scientifically proven. Just someone got to look at it, some scientific person wants to look at it, take a look at that, because that family enzyme is very, very important, because plants, they naturally have it, from what I can gather from like these plants. I even talked to plants, pumpkins and tomato plants and such, and they're all naive. They don't know what type of minerals they'll be looking for. They're all new birth children. So whenever I talk to them, they'd be like, I want some water, but obviously they don't need no more water because I already gave them too much water, but
they're children. They don't know.
They're children.
You chop up them little beets, they're all laughing. When you chop up your little carrots, they're all laughing because they're children, but it's kind of funny. That's just a little, we have fun with our food. We talk to our food. We know our food. We pay attention.
I talk to my food too. And I've known people who had chronic illness, and spirit just, I don't know. Basically, spirit doesn't tell me and then I tell everyone else. Spirit just comes directly out my mouth. It's like, I don't know if it's poor impulse control or what, it just happens. Anyway, this one woman, I said to her, do you talk to your food? And she said, no, why would I? And I says, well, try starting talking to your food and asking it, to help heal you. And because I just think there's a whole intelligence to everything that we have been brainwashed and programmed to disbelieve in. When we start believing in that, same thing like you were saying about you make tinctures and stuff. Yeah, so do I. And I only use plant-based medicine. This is not I just want to say we're not giving any medical advice here, so we can stay on YouTube. But I'm just saying that and I just know what I need when I need it. I can tell by the taste, I can tell, and you can develop that kind of sensitivity and have a whole new reality here on Earth. The only thing I have to do is shut off the damn screens to be able to experience it. Anyway, didn't mean to cut you off. Please do continue.
No, you're just like us. You're catching some of the stuff, and
it's good to expound on these areas because it's the way the spirit needs to flow.
Yeah.
So it's good.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Now, there was other thing that Guy has been telling me was enzyme. This type of enzyme is heat and air and cold. She's showing me that these enzymes, those are actual enzymes. A heat is an enzyme. It puts a place for the cells to gather and react, to produce or to decompose, whichever direction the enzyme needs to work in. And that's what heat enzyme is and a cold enzyme is for the body. And there was another part about the enzyme part that I liked.
Well, he's got this one tree that he grew up by, and it's always yelling enzymes, 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 and it's just constantly trying to get us to focus on enzymes. We eat, everyone eats a lot of stuff, but they don't have the right enzymes to capitalize off and then get the nutrition from the food.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. In fact, when we start a new food, or a food we haven't eaten for a long time, it takes 2 or 3 days of eating it before our digestive juices catch up and start helping us to feel it. And I know this is going to sound a bit crazy, but I have experience, transdimensional experience with extraterrestrials. When I started eating their food, at first I couldn't taste it. It took me 2 or 3 days before I developed the enzymes in my saliva to be able to break it down and to be able to taste what I was eating. Another thing about what you're saying about heat and cold, I have a big patch of what I call ribbed plantain, not the banana kind of plant, but the flat green leaf that you use, for making bug bite medicine and things like that. And if I leave it out all winter, super cold here in the winter time, long, brutal winters, but then in the spring, the seeds are perfect for reproducing so I can grow my plantain. So I don't know what the Latin name is for it, but anyway, I grow it every year because there's just nothing for your skin like it. So anyway, I just wanted to confirm what you're saying, because it's the cold and the heat that also has transformative properties on seeds and plants and everything. So I think you're right on the money with that.
Oh, now that's pretty cool because I finally remember where I was going with what I was saying, and with you adding that actually helps a lot too. That's cool. But speaking is the next enzyme. Even speaking into your food is an enzyme. That other
Interesting.
thing represents what you speak to it. So it's reflecting, is what I meant to say. It's reflecting what you're speaking to it. So this thing everything's conscious around us. Everything's the same enzyme. We're on the same planet. We're all the same thought, So this plant or whatever you speak into will hear you. No matter what it is, it will hear you. And your intentions in your heart to it, and telling it the direction that it's going to go in, which is towards you, into your body, into your digestive tract and such. You're also giving it a thought ahead, a pre-plan on what it wants to do for you. So that's what is going on when you're transferring information, transferring enzymes through the airways. That's what's going on. And for some reason, talking enzymes is, I don't know, there's something I was trying to say, but it's
well,
cool.
He's been, he sometimes he gets on a topic, and a lot of times, Gaia is like my stepmother. We didn't get along. I still kind of beat heads with her because I'm kind of hard headed. She was the one that reminded me of the word hard headed. And I can be closed minded, which is hard headed. And the guy is completely right. And it's always made me think, well, you got me there. I got to, I need to stop being hard headed and be open minded. But Matt has been, for about a week, he's been preaching about sugar and salts and how it's so important and how everyone's messing up. So go ahead. Since you have preached for a week, you and Gaia have they want this message out. So will you please get it out, Matt?
Gotta get it out because it's been a lifetime thing too. Ever since the beginning, when the tree was talking to me about the enzymes and pulling out the stuff on the inside, just keep on packing it down in the bottom, and the tree just yelling enzymes. And well, it's the salts and sugars that are your enzymes that you're looking for. The doctors will all try to tell you that don't have too much salts, it'll raise your blood pressure. Don't have too much sugars, it'll raise your blood pressure. Well, guess what? When you have them both balanced, your blood sugars will be balanced because you have the right amount of sugars and the right amount of salts. You have too much salts, you have too little sugar. Too much sugar, too little salts. It's, you
got to balance.
You have to have the balance. It's like oatmeal. If you can make your own self some really good oatmeal, you'll know that you have to add salt to your oatmeal, and you'll have to add sugar to it. And if you don't have the right balance, it'll taste funky with too much sugar. It'll taste funky with too much salt. So it's a balance.
And what they've done is all your soda products, except for a couple, and all your ice cream products, they all have fructose corn syrup. They don't have sugar. So a lot of people have been tricked. So the other day I was having ice cream. Tina made a mistake, because there's only one ice cream brand you can get that has sugar in it. And there's only one soda, which is a root beer soda company, that makes soda with sugar. And so that's, first of all, it's going to blow your mind there. You don't believe me, go look.
Here in America,
do your research. It's impossible to find. Everything's got high fructose corn syrup, which is not sugar. And so Matt was like, you need to, he goes, you need to add sugar to your ice cream. And I'm like, dude, you're so crazy. But, I know he was right. So I added sugar to my ice cream because I had put root beer on it, which the root beer was, like I said, it had sugar in it. So I didn't have to add, but, there is some, and since we aren't batteries, we need salt. And of course, the doctors say, no salt, everybody quit it. So they got people kind of in trouble in a lot of different ways. So pay attention to all that.
Yeah. I tried the sugar in my ice cream when I was scooping. I was like, how many scoops do I need to put in my ice cream? I was like, this is wrong. Why am I adding sugar to an ice cream? It's supposed to already have ice cream, already have sugar in it, right? There was something in there. I was like, well, it did make it better. And actually, my body didn't go through this weird, like, down thing. It's like, what was it? It was like just slum. Get to a tired, dressy,
kind of
Yeah.
trance, like, what did I just eat?
And that sugar kind of helped not get that same effect I had the last night prior. And not just that, this ice cream, it melted with root beer. It's liquid.
Wow.
When you just add some root beer to it, real ice cream is like chunky, and you can pour root beer on it, it won't melt, when it's frozen.
So I wanted him to get that off his chest because he continues to tell me you've got to balance your salts and sugars. You need to balance your salts and sugars because they, like I said, one works for the other and against they balance each other, and they've got people kind of messing up that important detail.
And we made our nettle salt and our wild lettuce salt. It's also Gaia would call enzyme salts.
Yeah, we took them,
nettle and
we took wild lettuce, and then we basically condensed it down to a crystal powder that we have it's on our medicine, it's on our spice rack. So you can add stinging nettle, which is an enzyme, and then we also have the stinging nettles one and
wild lettuce is the other.
And the other day though, we had a tree that had this lump, big giant tree had a lump on the side of it, kind of like it was pushing itself outside the bark, and the tree said, "Make a tincture out of it." And we're like, what? Are you crazy? So anyway, we popped that. And
he said the tree actually told me how to do it. And I couldn't believe it because there was a knot on the side of the tree.
A knot that was actually, you could see it was forcing the bark out. So it was coming from inside the tree out.
But it looked like for me was like it was part of the tree. So you couldn't just like pry it out. I was like, in my head, logically, I was like, no, you can't just pry this out. But the tree said, well, get your knife out and pry me out from this point right here. So I went and stabbed it right there and pried, and it pried open.
It popped off like a tumor. And so, of course, we chopped up in a blender, and now we've added alcohol, and it'll be sitting up there for a few weeks, but that will go in our fridge. And that's just more enzymes that we'll add to our foods. Because
then the tree told us to stuff some dirt in there, leaf dirt, loose dirt, the topsoil dirt.
Kind of heal him back.
Just heal him back up, at least slow down his bleeding, water sap type of deal.
So anyway, that's our enzyme program. It's growing. We have tinctures. We have but it's important to it's important to get the kind of grasp of some of this enzyme stuff, like you said. Whether you speak to your food, it's important. That's an enzyme. Crystallization is very important. Food should be crystallized. We're going to all be, Mother Guy's next name is going to be Crystalline. Christine. Yeah, Christine. She likes to say it right. So I got to get it right if I get in trouble. Her next name is going to be. She don't care.
She just likes the heart about it.
So
awesome.
Understanding crystallization is important, because everything's a crystal. Salt's a crystal. Sugar's a crystal.
Yeah.
And the body digests things as crystal forms. It prefers a crystal to digest. Like salt with water, what happens? It goes clear. Digests in water very quick. We're 75% water. So if you got a crystal in your body, it'll dissolve it easy. In comparison to an uncooked hunk of meat. Stuff like that, however.
Yeah, so true. And I think too, some people pray over their food before they eat it. That puts out a vibrational frequency, communicates with your food. I'd like to thank the origin of the food, whether it's a beast or a plant, and thank it, and just thank it for its offering, and that I can serve it well. I try to do that too. So I also wanted to mention that once I got my addictions dealt with, and for me in the past, one of my addictions was carbohydrates, refined carbohydrates, which is not really necessarily the same thing as healthy food. But once I got over my addictions, alcohol, I had a lot of addictions. Boy, it's taken me years to peel all the layers off. But then I started to get in touch with my body, and I find that my body will tell me what I need. It'll tell me what foods I need, when I've had enough, when I need more. It'll tell me, when I need to go and have a sweat, when I need to go for a walk. It tells me everything I need to know. When I need sunshine, my body will tell me. It's really, really clear. And when I eat something, which is not too often anymore, but something that doesn't agree with me, it's absolutely clear. But I had to remove a certain amount of distractions, what I call addictions. I think addictions are distractions. That I had to do that. But I think that once we get our body detoxified, and our minds, I guess, that goes along with it, then we're a lot more open to spirit and communicating. And I believe, you don't have to agree with me, but I believe this whole planet is alive. It's integrated, it's conscious, and each part of it is conscious. And what an amazing world we live in. But if I watch too much in the way of YouTube videos and mainstream stuff, or even the thinkings of other mainstream humans, boy, after a while I get kind of an anxiety that seems to block out that intuitive way of understanding. I wonder if you guys experience that as well.
Yeah, definitely. I
Mhm.
mean, we had an antenna and it fell over and we left it that way. But no, we're like, what we've done has been, so we're just intentional. I'm sure you're probably the same way. We're very intentional. Um, we don't subscribe to things that are just leave it wide open. I've always been that way though. I'm always wanting to learn. Matt's wanting to learn. So we kind of usually, I mean, we do have entertainment we enjoy, but
Uh-huh.
most of the time, like you said, we live in, we try to live as intentional as possible.
Mhm.
I, I was going to kind of like change the subject just a couple things.
Sure,
I've got,
sure.
I got some cool notes of some cool things.
Yeah, go ahead, go for it.
Okay, cool. I was going to have Matt talk about a couple things. I didn't know this. He was explaining to me the other day about the pyramids and the four sides. And there's your notes there. Can you explain that?
Okay. To explain the pyramid with the four sides, I'll start with explaining the chakras and the four, or the technically 12 chakras that we have. So we got four lower chakras, and then four mid chakras, and four upper chakras. And that's for the physical body. Then you have the same amount in the same way in the spiritual body. So there's your other four chakras over there. There's 12 and 12.
I mean, you're going in two different topics now.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
He's trying to cross two bars at once. Let me slow down a second.
Focus on that.
Okay, I'll get you to explain the pyramid thing. Let me explain the other one. Okay, I got my notes here. This was neat. The other day I'd realized there's only two dimensions, everybody.
Yeah.
Spiritual and physical. There's only two dimensions. And then we got to talking, and I don't know who you got the information from, Guy. It doesn't really matter. And so then we was like, well, wait a minute now. See, there's more to it. In each dimension, you have three bodies. Like the physical dimension, you have the body, soul, and the mind.
That's it. Three. Right. Yes.
Okay. And the spiritual side, you have the same three. Now, when you get those three working together in this physical world, then you go to the fourth dimension in this physical world. Now, when you get those three balanced in the spiritual world, you go to the fourth dimension. Now, when you get both, when you're in fourth dimension, both physically and spiritual, then you go into the eighth dimension. And so there's a whole lot of talk about a whole lot of things that don't make sense, but that was the only thing that actually
now I
made
can continue
sense.
because you said it perfect.
Okay, so what do you got?
And then on the eighth dimension, you have four more, which is three more. the same way as the physical and the spirit. And this time it's the observer part of view of these three dimensions, these two other dimensions. That's your pyramid. That's one side of the pyramid. And you have four sides on the bottom base. And the four sides is the 3, 6. See, it's trying. It's
you got your notes right here.
I don't know. It's like my notes.
Every face has 3 points.
4 crown, 4 heart, 4. Okay, the base is the 4 chakras of each. You got mind, body, and spirit. That's your triangle. And then you have 4 chakras in the mind, 4 chakras in the spirit, and 4 chakras in the physical. And that's where your base is, your 4 chakras. If your 4 chakras ain't right on your physical or spirit, you ain't in the 4th dimension or 8th dimension. But yeah, I think we just explained it.
Okay. So that was something we come across, something to think about, because we're like, that makes sense. And I don't know if you want to add anything to that. I've got like just a few topics I wanted to drop off. It's kind of like drop them, you know what I'm saying?
No, go for it. Go for it. And everything you're saying intuitively makes sense because I totally get it. And there's something about the number 12. I don't know. Keep showing up.
Oh,
interesting.
I've been seeing it lately too. It's been 21, 12, and 12, 21. So
okay, I've got this is kind of like current news here. Now, follow Audrey, and one of her recent videos. They were talking about she was channeling Bigfoot, and David was interviewing her, and I just want to say that she had said that your closest cousin is Bigfoot, and David was like, really? Well, what happened? And what happened was Bigfoot was able to escape a star. What do they call them? Star portal, Stargate. Before they closed it down, so they did not get genetically modified during Atlantis, where a lot of us did. And so I thought, wow, that's amazing. I thought that was pretty cool. That was a reading that she had got. And then there was another reading from, I'm trying to remember who read that one. Do you remember? But there was another reading I want to talk about.
That was her too.
That was Audrey. Oh yeah, another one that came from Audrey's channel that you might, this is amazing. But she explains that Atlantis was a mothership, and it's left. It's not here no more. And I had no idea whether it's true or not. I'm just saying that was a reading, and I thought that was fascinating. That Atlantis was a mothership is what the reading is they got. So I thought that's really cool. And I'm just going through my notes kind of quickly here. And then I didn't know this, but in a reading, someone asked what Yahweh, what Yahweh was, and it says yes, Yahshua is yes, you are. And I was like, what? Well, I thought that's really cool. So Yahshua is yes, you are. And I think that's really cool. I hadn't heard that one before. I'm just trying to think that that's fascinating to learn. And let's see, I'm going through my pyramids here, going through your 4 chakras. We talked about that. And another thing is, I don't know if you want to talk about how people are talking through crystals. I don't understand any of that. And I don't know if you can explain that or if you want to talk about that, because a lot of people are doing readings. Like David, he was doing channeling the Bigfoot, and he gets chills because of the way they're channeling. A lot of people get chills from channeling these other beings because of their energy. And I know that you had gone through, he was working with our Bigfoot buddy named Scott, and he was having problems because he was interfering whenever he would get the chills and stuff, and it affects him physically.
Yeah, with Scott, I had the copper tongue taste, metallic tasting.
And so what happened was George is a giant. He's 178.
Now.
Anyway, he was involved in that conversation, and he helped see the problem. And so now they talk through crystals, and I don't understand how you guys talk through crystals, or you talk through the earth. What is that?
Yeah, it's like
it's like a telephone. They're like a telephone.
Yeah, it's like a spiritual crystal, you know,
Mhm.
just like a telephone type of deal. But I mean, for me, whenever I talk to, I think I do got a green crystal is what I talk to. For some reason, I see image. Sometimes it's a different color, orange, when I talk to a different being, but orange crystal of some type. But I talk to a crystal, just like transferring an enzyme. Like here's my shungite, but I like talk to it. Like this is how I talk to it in my mind's eye, just
Mhm.
transferring my enzyme and just like hearing what's being said from the other side, and then I just like talk back just like this and seeing where they're at on the connection and talking with what they're talking about.
Well, how
You know?
did, well, my question is like Jim Morrison, when we first started talking to Jim Morrison, he started tuning in and was talking to us, and then we had not good communication, but he somehow or another, he has a green crystal now.
Yeah.
So what is the process for like people that are channeling to get that? Do they talk to the Appalachian Dragon? I mean, how do you guys do that?
It seemed like it's just information that gets passed to those that has good intentions to talk
Okay.
to the other side. It's just like if your intentions were strong enough, you'll be seeing that you want to talk to the other side. So the dragon would like to come into your realm, try not to scare you because his aura is big, you know. But he'll come into your realm, and like for Jim Morrison, he recognized that I talked to the dragon, Appalachian Dragon, and then he's like, "Well, okay, I could trust this energy." So the dragon gave him a crystal because this dragon is Appalachian Dragon. It is the crystals of this earth, and it's been through a lot and knows a lot about ley lines and such. So he knows crystals very well. He's dead, and he accepts it very well. He loves it. He loves being dead. He doesn't need to come back to life because in spirit, he already knows that he is spirit. He is in spirit while in the spirit realm. A lot of people don't know that when they're on the other side. Some I shouldn't say a lot, just
But if
some
you don't,
varying people.
that's the thing is if you question the truth, then you don't know the truth.
That's
You got to think about that one.
That's it. Yeah.
If you don't know who you are, then maybe you're going to be back to reincarnate. But anyway, I don't know. I'm just
Yes, that is true. That's what's
that's so true.
Yeah, that is true. That's what the Appalachian Dragon's saying.
Yeah.
That is true.
Makes sense. Yeah, you can't. The question is doubt, right?
See, in this world, you're taught real early to question. Well, in spirit, you just look at the animals. Look at a deer. If a deer questions to jump, I'm pretty sure he'll be dead. If the squirrel doesn't recognize to jump, he'll be dead. You know, nature doesn't slow down for even the slow-minded. You know, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know,
I wanted to make a brief comment about using crystals to communicate. And I do all kinds of weird things, and I just consider myself weird, and I'm okay with that. And then I hear other people talk about things. I go, "Oh my God, I'm not the only one." So after my mother died, I had a large quartz crystal, just a rough, unfinished. It was pointed at one end and rough on the other. And I actually used it to communicate with my mother after she passed. And I know that sounds bizarre and sounds extremely weird. And you're the first people that I've ever heard mention using crystals for communication, but it makes perfect sense. I mean, crystals are even alive. They don't have a heart or a brain, but they grow and they bring energy from 0 point or from the ether, and they grow and they crystalline themselves, and they actually grow. They can heal themselves. They are amazing. So I work with crystals, obviously, in my orgone generators is mostly how I do it, but I have a few for sale on my website. But I have always found great comfort in crystals, all different kinds. And sometimes my need for hematite seems to be dominant. Other times it might be shungite or it might be amethyst. And I just really encourage people out there listening to this, don't take our word for it. Try it. Try all this stuff out for yourselves and see whether it rings true or not. Sorry, I'll just zip it, let you guys come
No,
back.
you're right. We
Go
got,
ahead.
I'm gonna see if I can point him, but we have program. Well, we're like you, Karen. We're very strange. so that's what's great about talking to you, because we can actually talk more about how strange we really are. But we have I have a copper. We all have a copper plate that's just made out of a sheet of copper that's under our bed. It actually has a ground that runs down to the ground, and then there's a wire that comes off it that runs up to the foot of our bed underneath the sheet. So you put your feet on at night. And we have what Matt calls a big grounding room. We have a big giant rock sits beside it where we put the other rocks to clean them. Because to clean a rock, you set it on a big rock and it cleans them. And then we trade them out. And I have, because you get aches and pains, you got Wi-Fi and all this weird energy, you need to come to learn your stones. And I have several stones that I work with, and I trade them out. I can go to bed and realize, oh no, I got to trade my stone because I need this or I need that. And I can just tell them about my body. And but we also have, I'm sitting here looking, I'm going to turn the camera around and show you. Let me see if I can turn this around. You watch the screen to make sure I don't lose connection.
Okay, I'll watch.
All right. Turn it around.
All clear so far.
Okay. So
very bright light.
Very bright light.
Yeah, it's bright light.
You fix the bright light.
Okay.
I'll talk on the mic. But here in our kitchen window here, he's going to.
Are you able to see?
Yeah, not kind of.
Oh, I can zoom.
Okay, go ahead. But here in our kitchen window, we have. We first of all we got the three charms you sent us. I guess you could say are the three. What do they call those?
Pendants.
Pendants.
Yeah, the pendants. And so we trade those out. And he's trying to zoom in right now. We trade those out, but you can see also those different ones. We come in the morning and we trade out and figure out which one we need to go with. But those came from Shasta. Those are basically healing rocks. I can't remember the name of them, but it's like that type of glass that came from that place.
Did something to the camera now.
Did something to the camera now.
Oh,
Andrea.
Andrea.
Dara.
Andrea. Okay. Well, he's going to fix the camera, plug and turn her back around.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's turn it back around. Don't know if we. Okay.
That's awesome. I want to tell you a little, well, I'll try to be quick with it, story about my orgone generators. So I got a message from my higher self, my guides, whatever, on to do a process with them, which I call quantum entanglement. So it started with the crystals I had in my home. And then when my friend made my orgone generators for me, I designed them and he made them. And when he would send them to me, I would then take the crystals that I had, arrange them along with the orgone generators in a grid on a tabletop, use a wand, and funnel or call in energy from my crown and from the earth, combine it in my heart chakra, send that energy down my arms, through my hands, through my wand, and I would then do all kinds of geometric patterns while staying in that specific open headspace, and I would charge everything together. Then every time I got more orgone generators or crystals, I would add them, not all of them, it would be too many, but add them and redo that process. So everything that I have as far as crystals and orgone generators go, they're all linked. They're linked in an energetic way. And so when they go out into the world, they spread a grid, an invisible grid of energy on the earth. Then I met a woman who did the same thing, and I had her on my show, and I sent her some of mine and she sent me some of hers, and we did ritual and we incorporated them into our energetic grids so that it would be even stronger, and then we send them out into the world. Anyway, I just wanted to add that. I know it's very strange, but it's something I fully believe in, and people have written me, I can't tell you how many times, to tell me about the magical and incredible things that have happened to them once they got the orgone generators in their homes, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, that's what, we got into the orgone generator like you many years ago, and we were making our own, and we've got some in the gardens and this and that, and we have a pyramid that you had made, and the angel wings had came down from Minnesota.
Yeah, I think Minnesota.
Yeah,
Minnesota.
angel wings.
Yeah, she'd come down and she forgot it. Yay for us! Anyway, she left it in the Airbnb, and it's still in there in the window. But Matt, he's when he wants to focus, he goes through, like we have rentals, and he sets it so in each window they'll have different crystals. But he's he can explain. But anyway, he can set it up so the energy, because we want people that come and stay with us. And normally they do. Normally people come to stay with us. They never want to leave because we try to set it up energetically right. We want people to be happy. We want people to go to work so they can pay us. It's all kind of like keep people happy and
feed the hand that pays us, right? Help them if we can.
Yeah. But, and so Matt, like, we have one now, like I said, he went through and he's got every window and by the doors and everything. He had to set up the right flow.
Mm-hmm. The front entrance with the black tourmaline. I don't see. The thing is, I didn't really look at the rocks. All I did is just look at the energy that I was seeing, past, present, and future. Just my innocent vision is what I'm seeing through. It's what I'm assuming I'm seeing through. And I just see the lines of energy, positive or negative, and seeing what happens when I reflect it this way, move it this way. If I set it up a certain way and someone else touches it, that's not even a problem because I saw it. And I saw which way it would go. So I try to set it up to where wherever I put it, it'll be in a positive direction. So I'm seeing the lines of the rock and such like that. And it puts in a good vibe, if you put it in the right place for the eye to catch it, because it's a enzyme prism. Rocks are pure. Their crystals are pure. They're pure white crystals, clear crystals, quartz. They're pure what they are. They are their substance purely growing. It's that enzyme, and you can actually crush up some of them and actually take them in as enzymes too.
People used to eat crystals. It's not, you got to go back in time when people would crush up crystals and digest them for healing. I know it's like, what?
I take sulfur for my poison ivy issues every now and then. I take it like salt. Just a little bit on my tongue, wherever I got the itchies here or wherever on my arms. I don't use pink stuff no more because I use sulfur as an enzyme salt just in the midnight, just at nighttime, and then take a little bit, go to bed, don't get no itches. And then by the next day, it's already healing up wherever rash was trying to come up.
Very, very.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Very interesting. I was going to ask you guys too, if you want me to send you some orgone generators to leave out for Bigfoot. Do you think that's something Bigfoot would like? And I wanted to tell you that I've sort of had a Bigfoot experience, but not really. So I don't want to say I did because I don't know for sure. But I was at Harrison Hot Springs. I don't know if you know where that is, but that's the whole town. The culture of the whole town is what we call in Canada Sasquatch, and which is another name for Bigfoot. And I went out into the woods and I sat on a stump and I could feel the vibe of at least one Bigfoot. They were observing me. And to be honest, I got a little freaked out and I went back to the hotel. But that's as close as I ever got.
Well,
and yeah, so I was wondering if you let me know if you want me to send you a little package to put out for Bigfoot, because I don't know, I think they're important too. I totally believe they're a real thing.
Well, you talking to Scott? Are you talking to anybody?
Yeah, I'm trying to talk to him. But go on and say what you want to say.
Oh no, I was just like, I know I could tell when he starts looking up, he's talking to Scott or talking to Bigfoot. He could probably tell you who you were talking to in those woods. That's what's the neat thing about the energy. They can, a lot of times someone will have a problem and we'll say, what's the problem? And then a lot of times Scott will go visit them and visit their local clan, find out what the problem is. Say, okay, you're hunting one ridge too far over, go back that way. And it's really neat because they're all working together to make a better world for everybody, of course.
This is pretty funny. You'll like this from what Scott says.
Yeah.
He said, just put one of your pyramids towards the south of your house, because it'll be pointing towards the direction of us. If we're south or southeast, southwest, whatever, point it that direction, and that energy line would come through and bless the whole line in between. If anything, that's even better. He's showing me
Wow.
the
I
energy.
could do that for sure. Any particular
That's great.
crystal?
It's what you feel. He wants you to
Okay.
feel it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, that would be great.
That's
But I'd be happy to send you a package too for Bigfoot if you think it's appropriate and if it comes up in the future.
well.
So, I know
I was-
you have more things you want to talk about. We're almost out of time, and I want to give you the space to say it. But I also have a question. We might go a little few minutes over time. Would that be okay with
Yeah,
you
that's
guys?
fine.
And of course, I need to have you back if that's okay
Oh yeah,
for
that'd be
another
great. Yeah, that's
another
fine.
show, or I could come on your show, whichever you want. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I just want to give you some space to talk about, whatever you want to share, because I know it's all really important.
I want to say something about the gifting. The thing is we since he has talks to Scott, we were like, Scott's birthday is when the poplar tree drops that flower. That's how he knows when he was born, during that time period. So we're like, okay, well we're gonna have a party for Scott. We're gonna cake, no cookies now, and we're like, what? We're like, doesn't Bigfoot wants peanut butter or something?
Don't you want a plantain or something?
We
Something
couldn't
good?
figure it out. We were like, this don't make no sense. That's what everybody says. But anyway, it come down to basically burning tobacco and blessing the land. So we're like, okay, fine. And we're
Say
not
something positive about the land.
saying something. Hey, there's
Bless
Buttworm.
him.
I'm glad to see
Buttworm,
Buttworm. He's a one of
That's
our.
solid.
I figured there'd be a few come through maybe our channel and come over. So
Buttworm's
that's cool.
awesome.
You guys make sure you subscribe to
Thank
Karen.
you.
But
Thank you, everybody. And make sure all my people go and
Yeah.
subscribe to Tennessee Kentucky Bigfoot. Yeah, you won't be disappointed.
Yeah, I'm glad to
Both
see it.
ways.
But
Heck yeah.
I was going to say, so we went up there, we sat on the thing and, we just went and found a place, and it was weird. We found this place and it was on top of the mountain and it's clear, and there's nothing it's like a little place with rocks and the leaves don't land out. We're like, weird. So we sat down, we burned
No
tobacco.
sticks, no leaves.
And, then our property got really blessed after we burnt the tobacco and blessed the land. We're rookies at everything. We're like learning. And so we just bless the land and thank Creator and all that kind of stuff. And then we end up with dragonflies and all this stuff started. All of our trees started flowering, and then dragonflies and all this stuff showed up. And my neighbors came over, accused me of planting fruit trees on their property. I'm like, no, we didn't do it. Why would I plant fruit trees on your property? But anyway, so that's been a big lesson to us. I really, really. Here's the way I see it. Bigfoots live in the woods. They love the woods. They stay in the woods. They're in nature. We came from nature. We're the ones that left nature. Bigfoots are not going to leave nature. So if you want to interact, or you need to come to nature, because they love nature and they're not leaving nature. We're the ones that left nature. And so if you go out into the woods and you love on nature, they'll notice you. And, to me, get off trail, go way out, so that therefore, because they don't like hanging around where people are going to be, because, it's just not, they like having their own home and all. But the main thing is open your heart. Nature will open your heart, open your eyes. And then you'll probably be noticed as, hey, what is those humans doing? And why are they out here, doing, but it is true. If you really, if people want to have contact, you can have contact with ETs, or you can have contacts with the Bigfoots or anything. It really is just have the right heart and mind, and for
let your higher self guide you pretty much, right? I mean, that's what I've been doing without recognizing it. And if I haven't been recognizing it, then I'm pretty sure it's pretty natural for many people to do.
Yeah.
Just follow your higher self.
I agree. Now, I got a question for you. I have seen more and more lately podcasts where usually it's just the guy who has the podcast reading letters, which sounds strangely AI generated to me. But he's putting out there that there's all kinds of women being raped by Bigfoot and all these hybrid children. Is there any truth in any of that? Is it complete BS? Is it AI generated? I'm sorry. I know it's a disrespectful question, but I just, I thought if anyone would know, it'd be you guys.
Well,
Mhm.
let me fill you in on some information. A friend of us, you can look him up on YouTube. Stacy Haslett, Haslet. Now
Mhm.
he wanted to marry a Bigfoot. Her name is Flower, and our clan knows their clan. Anyway, the Bigfoot's clans, the elders denied it. So because he wants us humans to understand who they are, and he was willing to marry. We figured if he could marry a Bigfoot, you can't
Mhm.
they can't deny it. But anyway, it was denied that the elder Bigfoot said, no, not this time.
Not
But
yet.
the thing is, her father was a dog man and her mother is a Bigfoot. So she's a
Mhm.
mix. The thing is they're just like any, you hear them called clans and families, and I like to call them sometimes civilizations because they're a lot more than you think. And just like
Mhm.
our civilizations, they have plenty of problems. Not, they have free will just like we do. I mean, they're
Mhm.
and so and we also know Janice Carter, which lives close by us, and she spent 50 years with them. She was raised with them, and she
Mhm.
will tell
Mhm.
you all the good stories about the Bigfoot she had. But there's also one of the Bigfoots. His name was Blackie, and he did rape a girl, and she did bear that child. Now it was all covered up by the news and everything else in the town and the sheriff, and all that was covered up. Now what they do in the Bigfoot world is, in Blackie's case, it could take up to maybe 7 generations to breed that out. So what they do is his children have been raised kind of with our clans, but they're bringing them up, and they, something like that one of their children do, they, now Blackie has changed a lot. He made a mistake. He was outcast from his society. He was put out for doing that, just like we do in our society. I mean, we will, someone does something horrible like that, they will probably go to jail or prison, or they'll definitely be outcast from your community. And so
Mhm.
they practice the same thing. The difference between them and us is they actually basically breed out curses. It could take up to 7 generations of children to get something out, which is really, cool. I don't think they're showing
Mhm.
you those sides of their I want to call them species, I guess, if you want to call them species of human or
Mhm.
species of whatever. But so that, I hope that gives you some insight. So, yeah, there's
Mhm.
definitely cases. There's definitely cases where women are raped and taken and abused, and there's definitely, and like you said, and
They're dangerous.
and
You gotta
I mean
stand up for
that
yourself.
happens every
Goes
day
both
in
ways.
Chicago and all these
Mhm.
cities. It's not that, it's not that all
Mhm.
foots, every foot's just like every man. That's
Some are
the
good, some
biggest
aren't.
problem I see a lot of people do is they want to judge the whole
Yeah.
group. And we know
Yeah.
that's not
You
right.
can't judge the whole
You
entire
can't
group.
do that. And that's not fair. You
Mhm.
cannot judge all a man by one man's activity. And we know that. So why are we
Mhm.
judging, a whole species of any ET race or any Bigfoot race? No, we're not supposed to do that.
Mhm.
It's not right. It's not fair. We're not to do that.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
yeah, it does happen,
Interesting.
and there is definitely bad.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just
So,
follow your.
well, I wanted to hear it from you guys because I figured you would know. So, because even I spent a lot of time on Vancouver Island, and I'm in Canada, and there are a lot of rumors of women that are out fishing and camping, and they're running for their lives because they got, Bigfoot chasing them. But I don't think it happens every day. I think maybe there's good and bad in every group, whether
Mhm.
they're ETs, Bigfoot, certainly. Actually, I've never heard of as much atrocity as in the human world. What we do to other humans pretty
Mhm.
harsh. People
Right.
are going, "How come you're
Mhm.
not afraid of ET?" Well, because I've seen what humans do. If they should be more afraid of us, I think, than us of them. But anyway,
Mhm.
we're quickly running out of time. I want you guys to tell everybody where they can find you. Some people will be listening to this on an audio podcast. So if you could say the actual words of where they can find you. Do you broadcast regularly or just when the spirit moves you? You got anything coming up? I don't know. And of course, any last minute messages you want to share with my audience and your audience would be wonderful.
Yeah, sure. I mean, if you want to contact us, I'm very heavily censored on YouTube. The only way to get to me is Tennessee Kentucky Bigfoot at gmail.com. That's like the only email address actually works that people communicate with me. If you try to, because I don't get notified, they have our channel really in bad shape. And so it's horrible to go out and see people that have commented and talked. And I'm like, I had no idea, and I feel bad because, I don't get to. So that's not a communication source. We do put out videos. We really are just kind of, we wait. Like you ask us. And so we're like, yes, we have an opportunity to get some things off our chest.
Mm-hmm.
We have an upcoming meeting that I'm going to set up with Anchor Haven. She's so she was one of the what do you call them, the soldiers, that had the
super
soldiers, but so luckily people kind of pick up and say, hey, you want to come on? We did an interview with Audrey. We've done an interview with our friends. Some people ask us. We did one with Abnormal Investigations. So we just kind of go where people want to talk and are interested in having us on. We're excited just to come on and talk and so that's it. I mean, we are we do have our YouTube page. We're not on Facebook because, of course, like you said, Facebook, mainstream media, and all those are drama. They can't have good news because it doesn't sell. And like you said, those stories about all them. That's all because that's what they want to sell.
It's easy,
and YouTube is really bad about people. I mean, I don't even watch half of that stuff. They're like, Bigfoot tore someone apart. I don't watch their video because I'm like, you guys stop doing that. Because like I said, they want to sell these, so they dramatize it or they only tell the bad stories. And so anyway, that's how you can get in touch with us. What do you got?
Yeah, I think the human race, you can turn on the news and hear someone got shot about every freaking day, I think.
But you're hearing
and nothing good. And yeah, that's my point. You won't hear nothing good, on the news station about people, let alone Bigfoots. I mean, Bigfoots are rare, and then you don't even hear stories about them practically. And when you do, it's just someone ran away from them. That's pretty much it, But there's a lot of other stories. Yeah.
Well, it's been a real pleasure to have you on the show. And I also want to say thank you to everyone who came to the live chat today. That really, adds a lot of warmth and community to our broadcast. I want to thank the people that are listening on an audio podcast and those that are watching the replay. So you'll be having plenty of opportunity between their channel and my channel to check this video out. So I'll be in touch, guys. Anytime you feel spirit moves you that you want to come back, let me know. Otherwise, I'll be in touch. And maybe in a couple months, we could do this all again and cover some more great material. For those of you who are followers of my channel, please go over and join Tennessee Kentucky Bigfoot. Really interesting content that you're not going to find every day everywhere else. So if you're looking for the stuff that's really interesting and the real jewels that can help make your life better, please do go over and check them out. So I guess that's it for today. I want to thank everybody. And sorry, I've got a very active chat here I'm trying to look after at the same time. But with all of that being said, we'll say bye-bye and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Karen.
Thank you for joining me for the Aliens and Angels podcast. Read about my true life ET contact in my book called Transdimensional Meet the New Neighbors, which is now available on Amazon worldwide. Subscribe to my YouTube, Rumble, and X channels at Karen Holton TV. The like button and leave me a comment. And please do share this podcast with your friends. Check out my website at www.KarenHoltonHealthCoach.com to see my free resources and amazing products and services. All of the links will be in the description below. As part of the Forbidden Knowledge Network, you'll also find the Quantum Guide Show with Karen Holton on all audio platforms. Until next time, keep up the good work.